Good morning. Thank you for being with me today. It's a special day for me. It's my birthday, and I would like to share with you a few words and a few experiences about the following topic: leadership and innovative entrepreneurship in Africa. In the following minutes, we're first going to talk about leadership. We're going to define it and try to understand how it's perceived in an African context, and above all, how it can be better used and tapped to develop our continent. Secondly, we're going to talk essentially about innovative entrepreneurship, how entrepreneurship is perceived in Africa, how, on the contrary, we can organize to have more blooming and impactful companies, and finally, the different opportunities of the African Union through the documents and conventions signed with African countries to facilitate entrepreneurs' life. I am Ranyimwende Eldaa KOAMA. I am an entrepreneur, a certified coach and trainer, and for 6 years now, I've been working with entrepreneurs to think first about their vision and the different problems they have identified in their communities that they want to solve. I also discuss with entrepreneurs about how they get their teams to commit to the development, the enlargement of their company, and for the company to be more impactful. As I was saying, today I want to talk to you first about leadership. Leadership, this is a word that you've heard a lot in your environment. And most of the time, you wonder what the use of it is if everybody has to become a leader and if it's an obligation. What is interesting is that I'll start off by explaining what leadership really is, and then I'll show you its importance in a context as ours, that's to say, in Africa. Leadership is the aptitude, the capacity that you have to have a vision and then influence everybody around you with no constraint to join you for the fulfillment of that vision through concrete action. What I mean is that you become a leader the day you start to have an ideal for this world, something for which you commit body and soul for the ultimate benefit of the community. What is your vision? What is your ideal for a world of happiness? What do you think you can give to this community that was there when you were born, grew up, and became the one you are? The day you discover your vision, you'll have the opportunity to develop leadership in you and around you. Leadership is therefore the capacity that an individual has to think about a specific thing, to set the example himself. He doesn't wait for people to start. He's not the kind of boss who tell others to get into difficulties, to sacrifice themselves while he's standing aside. So, an individual who wants to develop leadership knows well that with his vision, he must set the example and master the art of influence and the art of creating others' consent without constraints by arousing within them the desire to get involved into doing extraordinary things. There's a difference between being a leader and being popular. Nowadays, thanks to social media and the rapidity of internet, you just have to do something extraordinary or something unexpected to become the topic of discussion of families. This is popularity. Being known by people doesn't necessarily mean that you influence or that you get people to do things for their lives. That's why, as Africans, We need to embrace the values of leadership, which starts with us by transforming within us all the values, all the possibilities, all the potential, and then bring them out to impact others. Therefore, seek to become a leader. Popularity will come with time. It's normal. When you're a good leader, from month to year, people will hear about you and your actions. To come back on the leaders that we need in Africa, I would like to tell you that today, thanks to the activism of some people on social media or in specific communities, we saw that many people are interested in the development of Africa. Many people are interested in what Africa might become, what it might do, or what its impact in the world might be. We have a lot of ideological leaders. So many people share their ideas and influence a lot of people. But in actuality, life isn't made up only of ideas. Life must be composed of activities, creations, productions. And that's what Africa still lacks today. We need leaders in the different domains like science, trading, production, and even the creation of new knowledge. Africa should beget leaders that are able to produce, to think, to take action, and to impact. That's all about the first part, and I invite you to come with me to discover the part about innovative entrepreneurship in Africa. Follow me. Let's talk about innovative entrepreneurship in Africa. During conferences and activities that I organize with my company, I meet lots of young people who say to me, I want to be an entrepreneur too. I want to be my own boss. During conversations, some salaried employees say to me that they would like to have a side business to make a little more money so as to cover their expenses. The truth is that entrepreneurship is perceived differently in Africa. And the problem is that the perception is not always correct. That's why I would like to define what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is an adventure in which you identify a need felt by a lot of people or a problem that makes so many people in your community suffer or sometimes out of your country. Once this need or problem is identified, you find a solution with an added value that you offer them in exchange for money or any other thing that has value to you. In this adventure, you must make sure that you get back what you have invested with profits. In a nutshell, an entrepreneur is someone who goes around looking for problems to solve. But today, when I hear people say that they want to become entrepreneurs, it's not to create solutions, but rather it's to find a trick to take money from the pockets of people who suffer. Entrepreneurship is a calling. That's why not everybody can become entrepreneur. I don't mean that everybody doesn't have the capacity or the potential. But apart from simply having an activity, there is a need for a how to be, a how to do, and the capacity to resist the difficulties that may come your way. In Africa, we need entrepreneurs who commit 100% in their activities for their companies to develop and help the whole continent financially. Don't confuse to have a side business to make a little money and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is needed in a context in which there are always problems, and I'm referring to our African context. Look around you. Take some time to think about the people who suffer, and you will be able to make a list of thousands of needs that entrepreneurs might find solutions to. Here, I would like to attract your attention on the difference between entrepreneurship and the business world or that of trading. To find a product somewhere in the world and bring it into your environment and sell it without any modification just to make profits, that's not entrepreneurship. Outside there are young people who start their little business. In fact, they don't create anything at all. They saw an attractive and trendy product that everybody wants. And since it's an opportunity, they buy the product and sell it to a higher price. I call those people businessmen and businesswomen. And that's actually what business is: make profits without having to get involved into difficult tasks. However, an entrepreneur must create an added value, go beyond only finding solution to captivate the customer's attention in order to be able to show him what's special in that solution. So, this is a day to day work because what an entrepreneur presents today may not be the adequate solution tomorrow. An entrepreneur must keep on thinking, innovating, and bring something extraordinary that transforms consumers' habits. This brings us to innovative entrepreneurship, a system that creates solutions that not only solve problems but pushes the individual to change their behavior in the community, their consumption habits, else a solution that totally impacts their lifestyle. Innovative entrepreneurship requires from the entrepreneur to bring creativity with the product or with the process of production of the product. Creativity among the team, or finally, to find a way to impact the lifestyle, the consumption habits, and the behavior of people in society. Imagine a group of entrepreneurs who, thanks to their solution, change the mindsets, impact the behavior in society for a better living. That's all we need in Africa. This Africa that we all love and that we all want to develop. Promising fields in Africa are agriculture, breeding, services to individual, finance, education, and so on. Anyway, the ones I named are part of the top 10 of what we can develop here in Africa. Our agriculture is yet to be modernized. What we produce needs to be transformed, and what we transform needs to be certified. Let's abide by the quality standards. There are so many things to do, so many opportunities to seize. Breeding also is not to be left out. Lots of things can be done. Still today, our population needs to be educated. They also need to have a good understanding of finances and money. Whether it's for financial education or to get found, it's really a gold mine for the entrepreneur who knows how to do it. Finally, services to individuals considered today as a favor that we do to friends and relatives can become real business. Business that can be well set up and disciplined. I'd like to close with innovative entrepreneurship by talking about the African Free Trade Area. It's an agreement signed since 2019 by 45 countries out of the 54 African countries in order to enable the countries and the economic areas to fluidify their exchange, to facilitate the transport of a product made in West Africa and to be consumed in East Africa. This is an opportunity that's not well known by entrepreneurs who should be the main beneficiaries. Maybe someday I'll tell you more about that. Anyway, in this African Free Trade area, there are facilities, but these facilities ain't exempt from difficulties. Today, still, some obstacles prevent us from benefiting from this opportunity to its fullest. For example, there is the difficulty to move from one country to another, from one area to another, and the need for a visa to travel in Africa. With time, we'll make something, I'm sure. Another obstacle might be the language barrier. It's true that we have several languages, but we haven't got to the point where languages spoken by the maximum of people are used for trade and to exchange our goods and services. This is a challenge. According to you, what language must be brought forward in Africa to facilitate the transportation of products and services from a country to another? And if we seize the huge opportunities that the African Free Trade area offers, finally, I would like to tell you that we all have the opportunity, either as leaders or as entrepreneurs, to participate in the development of Africa. For so doing, we need to unite. We need to come together because together we're stronger. Goodbye and thank you for having celebrated my birthday with me virtually. Maybe I should see you again during other special occasions. But for now, take care. Goodbye.
IMPROV'YOU, parce que le meilleur est en vous.